Here's the story. I've heard this story in many different versions, but here's one of the stories, the ways that I heard it. Okay, it was Nazi Germany. It could be that both of these stories are true. The Nazis were searching for ways to exterminate, especially the Jews. And somebody came up with this brilliant idea that, listen, why should we every time use gas in this? Let's make cold rooms, huge cold rooms. We'll make the room really cold and we'll insulate it so that it'll be really cold, freezing. And stick the Jews into these big freezing rooms and just we'll leave them there for, it takes how long for a person to freeze to death? Half an hour, whatever it is. Freeze. Anyway, they had this idea. I don't know if that's I heard another version of the same story. I didn't finish the story. This is just the beginning. That Jews were transported. They would transport the Jews to the concentration camps. And of course, they would do it also in the winter. However, it was, they would pack Jews into freezing cold places. Freezing cold places. So they tried this with this big room. Someone else told me that there was a freezing, cattle car, so they took the Jews. And the Jews realized that we're stuffed in. Let's say there was 100 Jews stuffed in this refrigerator, and there was a young man there that he saw that there was an old fellow, 80 years old, whatever, and he was beginning to freeze. So the young person started to rub him, massage him, whether it was in the freezing, test room, murder room, or whether it was in the freezing cattle car. But now the story becomes the same story. So the young man massaged this old man and to keep him alive, to keep him warm. And when they opened up the refrigerator door, or conversely, when they, or according to the other story, when they opened up the cattle car, right? So the cattle car had been going through this freezing cold, Polish winters, 20 below zero, whatever. And they opened up the cattle car. There were only two people left alive. Who were the two people left alive? The old man and the young man. The old man was alive because the young man massaged him, kept his circulation going. And the young man, he was kept alive because he was doing the massaging. He was active. So both the stories, whichever context you want to tell the stories in, according to the first story, the Germans said, we see if these refrigerator rooms don't kill the young and they don't kill the old, so maybe it's not efficient. So they left the idea. According to the second story, so it wasn't a plan, but however it is, the message is the same message. The message is that by working to help someone else help another person and keeping another person alive, as that keeps you alive. And especially if you do it not to keep yourself alive, you do it really only for the other person. You're only interested in keeping this other person alive and massaging them. It could be that in both of the stories, if the old man would have passed away, that the young man would have also passed away, instead of just running in place or whatever, because he didn't think about himself. He thought about someone else, and it also kept him active. Is that enlivens both of them? So it's a lesson to us that if we care about others and we do everything we can to warm up our surrounding and those around us, is that brings a big blessing to ourselves as well.